Nordstrom Rack, in my opinion, one of the most genius developments in retail history. Their flagship store, Nordstrom, does not typically run aggressive discounts. It doesn't really chase bargain hunters. It's the flagship store with a set price. So to reach price-conscious shoppers, they created a second store just for that segment, Nordstrom Rack. And Nordstrom Rack is so successful that their sales increased by 14.6% last quarter, while the company's main label, Nordstrom itself, recorded a 3% drop in revenue. In fact, this year, the company is going to open 21 more Nordstrom Rack locations. So it's obviously doing very well. So why is Nordstrom Rack so genius? Well, in my opinion, it is a beautiful, beautiful masterclass in brand anchoring. Not just price anchoring, but brand anchoring. And for those of you who don't know, anchoring essentially positions a product at one price as that first point of value. For instance, in my business, I present a customer a singular video priced at $25,000, and they're like, whoa, that's a lot, even though the return is tenfold. But if I present them with two videos, a first video at $30,000 and then the second one at $25,000, and show them the difference in what they get, all of a sudden they can compare the price and see the difference in value. That right there is called anchoring. It's not a trick, it just helps give customers context on what they're getting for the price. So in essence, anchoring guides customers through the buying process by providing price tiers and options to compare and contrast. So what Nordstrom has done here is they're not doing it with just one product or one service. They're doing it with an entire brand. So in many ways, the full store, Nordstrom Rack, anchors Nordstrom as the original point of value, that higher point of value. So when customers see that shirt was $400 at Nordstrom, but is now $150 at Rack, they not only see the value of savings, they also see that Nordstrom is the place to go for premier high-quality items that are on season and on trend. And so this works in the opposite way too. Now, effectively, the perceived value of the discounted shirt is higher because it's an overflow item from the flagship, the better Nordstrom store. So both stores work in this very interesting symbiotic relationship with each other. That's why it's so genius to call it Nordstrom Rack instead of some other brand name like Save and Go or whatever, some other generic name. They actually lean into the Nordstrom brand name and say, hey, this is overflow from the real thing. That's also why you never really expect stuff to be on sale at Nordstrom. And so not only does Nordstrom, the flagship store, feel premium, Nordstrom Rack also has that premium connotation. And that's anchoring a brand in a nutshell. Now, in my mind, the real key differentiator here between Nordstrom and Macy's is properly segmenting their markets. So Nordstrom Rack is designed for price-first shoppers. Nordstrom more for higher end. So Macy's has really tried to do the same concept as Nordstrom Rack, but is failing at it. Why? Well, the other genius part of Nordstrom Rack is geography. They have purposefully put Nordstrom Rack in different physical locations, which is so key. So you'll find a Nordstrom Rack in a strip mall, perhaps next to a TJ Maxx or other stores at similar price points, but you're not going to find a Nordstrom Rack at a premium storefront location like a mall. So Nordstrom is doing something that not many other companies are doing. Meanwhile, Macy's does do something similar, but their execution is way off. Macy's has what's called Macy's Backstage, which, first of all, the name absolutely sucks. I mean, what does that even mean? Backstage? Backstage? What am I backstage at? It's corny, it's ineffective, it does not say anything about what they're doing. With Rack, it's off rack, off the rack. It makes sense, it's intuitive, it sounds right. Backstage. I mean, who thinks of this stuff? Seriously, there's so many companies out there with billion-dollar market caps, but have zero, negative EQ. It's kind of hilarious to me. And I'm not And I'm not complaining here, honestly, because I will have endless podcast episodes for you as long as brands continue to do stuff like this. So the Backstage name stinks, but Macy's, the real failure here is the fact that they put the Backstage program inside of the Macy's store rather than having it separate. So the connotation sticks. The whole point of anchoring is having two separate items. With brand anchoring, it's having two separate locations. So the items in this circumstance are the stores themselves. So Macy's really fumbled the bag with brand anchoring. So instead, everyone will, inside of the Macy's store, just be looking for cheaper items, which, by the way, will always be the lowest margin items. So of course, Nordstrom is kicking their ass when it comes to efficiency on a per dollar basis. So they also own Bloomingdale's and Bluemercury, which respectively are their luxury fit and their beauty brand. And honestly, they're segmented pretty poorly. Like Macy's has most of the brand equity here, the most name recognition, the longest history out of all of them. I personally don't think of anything when I hear Bluemercury or Bloomingdale's, but with Macy's, it's pretty much an icon. Macy's, out of all those brand names, has the most brand equity by far. It's a name attached to the Thanksgiving Day parade, flagship stores. It's really an American icon. It really is. So why do you put the brand name that everybody knows, a tier lower than Bloomingdale's? It makes no sense. And that's why Nordstrom did it better. It elevated the name brand as the top tier brand and made a secondary brand segmented lower. So both brands lift each other rather than one dragging the other down, and vice versa. So Nordstrom is doing something that not many other companies are doing. It's not anchoring the products they're selling. They're anchoring their brands against each other. Genius.